Hey, welcome to Lee Johnson's. I'm James, and you are?
I'm Matt.
Matt, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thanks for finally coming in. We talked on the phone, you sent me a couple emails, right?
I did.
Fantastic. So I want to get to showing you that car because I know taking a test drive was really important to you. But before we do that, if you don't mind, let's go sit inside. I want to go over a few things about why this vehicle is going to be the best vehicle for you.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Well, come on inside.
All right. Thank you.
So how was your commute today?
It wasn't too bad. You know, sometimes it can be a little hectic in this area.
Yeah, I know you said that you're in real estate, so you must spend a lot of time on the road.
I am.
Feel free to take a seat.
All right, thank you.
So you do spend a lot of time on the road, you said?
I do, yeah. I spend a couple hours a day at least.
Oh, wow. Well, if you're spending that much time in the car, I can understand why you really wanted to get out there and take one for a drive today so you can make sure that it's the most comfortable and meets all your needs. In fact, before we go over that stuff with you, I just want to double check one more time. What about this new vehicle do you want that you didn't have on your old car?
Well, I really need a good, comfortable car because I have clients, so I need a little more upscale looking car so my clients feel like they're comfortable and also feel like that they're with somebody that's successful.
Gotcha.
Headlights, good headlights are important to me, seeing at night in the rain and everything. And a good navigation system. I was using my cell phone before, so I'd like a navigation in the car.
Gotcha, yeah, that's never fun, having to use the phone, look down, all that kind of stuff. Cool. And I know you mentioned by email that styling was pretty important to you, but you still wanted something fun to drive, but got awesome gas mileage. So I'm gonna show you a couple things here. Before I actually show you a video that Mazda has on SkyEdge technology so I can explain it to you, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So SkyEdge technology, what they did is they came out with these new engines. They get much better fuel economy, but still have all the power. They have a new style fuel injection. It's called direct injection. And the reason they went out with that is they do a 13:1 compression ratio. So when you go that high compression ratio, normally you have to use more of that high octane gas, which is expensive. You don't want to do that. So they did the direct injection, so the higher pressure for the fuel. So that's going to allow you to do the 13:1 compression and still use 87 octane. Plus they have special pistons in the vehicle now. They're actually domed pistons, kind of like a volcano, where they have a little cavity in the top that focuses the blast in there. And between the two of those things, it cools down the inside of the cylinder so you can run that high compression. So instead of me just telling you more about it, let me show you that video so you can really understand how it works.
Okay, cool.
So on here, you're going to see a few things that are absolutely revolutionary.
95% of the world uses gas and diesel combustion engines now. And even by 2020, 90% still will be. That leaves only 10% using alternatives. Cars that run on electric, hydrogen, corn, or even French fry oil have potential. And we're working on alternatives too. But the solutions most car makers have come up with so far either offer up the driving exhilaration of a couple squirrels on a treadmill, or are so expensive they're just not realistic for most people. To really affect global fuel consumption and emissions right now, you have to use something the globe actually uses right now. Rethink the combustion engine. Make it better and accessible to everyone, and you'll make a difference. A big difference. How big? Consider that current combustion engines waste about 70% of the fuel's potential energy. That's a lot of room for improvement. Our overall goal is to get 15% better fuel economy and a 15% improvement in low mid-range torque from the same engine, all on regular fuel. Two 800-pound gorillas stood in our way. The first was figuring out how to capture more energy from the fuel. To do that, we needed to raise the compression ratio by placing a dome on each piston. Because the more you squeeze the air-fuel mixture, the more energy you get from the combustion. But a high compression ratio usually ends up causing knock, which is when the air-fuel mixture ignites too soon because it's too hot inside the chamber, and that's no good. So we had to cool things off. Using some huge engineering muscle, we came up with innovative solutions to do just that. Like a high-pressure, 6-hole direct fuel injector that fires gasoline into the cylinder at 3,000 psi to help keep it cool. And a volcano-like pocket in the piston that improves combustion efficiency, giving burning fuel a place to grow without wasting energy heating the top of the piston. To get all that hot exhaust out without it shooting into the other cylinders, we added a longer exhaust manifold used in race cars called a header. Everyday cars don't use headers because of the emissions problems they create, but our advanced direct injection system solved that issue too. That's how we got more energy from the fuel. The second gorilla was making sure we weren't losing any of that precious booty on its way to the wheels. So we reduced friction inside the engine by a whopping 30%. How? By sweating every little detail. We've improved oil pump efficiency by 74% and water pump efficiency by 31%. Reduced friction from the big bouncy bits like the pistons, rods, and crankshaft by 25%. Reduced valve train friction by 54% and even reduced the effort the engine exerts to suck in fresh air by 13%. When it was all over, we had done what couldn't be done, achieving more torque, better performance, and higher efficiency. Skyactiv technology from Mazda. The future of driving begins now. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Okay, so you saw in there a lot of cool stuff that Mazda did for you. So I want to show you a couple other things. I know you're comparing it between the Subaru and you're also comparing it between the Hyundai.
I am,
So
yes.
on here you're going to notice, like I talked about in there, you're going to have better fuel economy, plus you're going to have more power than those other vehicles. There's a lot of other stuff that goes over in here, and instead of me just telling you the stuff that, you know, I may only want you to hear, I'm going to send all of this to you. So you're not going to find that with the other places you go to. I'll actually just email this to you. So you get every single spec on there, so you can go through and make the decision based off of what you think is important to you. Okay? So let's go ahead and walk out to the vehicle.
All right.
So I pulled up a car out here. You told me that you wanted an S Grand Touring and you wanted a hatchback, correct?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
So this one you're going to notice, it's the S Grand Touring. It's got those awesome 18-inch wheels. I know you said styling was really important to you, so you have that with these big wheels. One of the nice things about these wheels, when you have that larger wheel diameter, you have a low-profile tire. So it's going to be more fun to drive. It's also safer because the car maneuvers better. Okay. On the front of the vehicle, this has some special headlights. They're xenon headlights. You're going to notice in that email that I'm going to send you with all the specs, you can't get xenon headlights on the Subaru. You can't get them on the Hyundai either. So with this, much, much brighter at night. It's like the Lexus Mercedes you see where they have those really bright lights. These also turn left and right. So when you're in those areas, the housing developments at night, when you're showing those new houses and they have those tight bends, you know, say it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the wintertime, it's dark out, but there still may be some kids out on the street playing. When you come around that bend, this headlight's going to actually turn to the left or turn to the right so you can see them there. Huge safety advantage, and you're not going to find that with the Subaru or with a Hyundai. So let's go ahead and walk to the back of the car.
All right.
Because I know you said that you put a lot of stuff in there, like real estate signs and things like that, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I got to get all my signs in there.
So inside here, you're going to notice that Mazda has a 60/40 folding seat. In fact, I believe Mazda is one of the first companies that came out with a folding seat. So with this, you can fold one side down, you can put your signs and stuff in there, you still can put a colleague in here, and you can go set a house up. On top of that, when you close this, there's a privacy shade. So if you have some expensive items in here, because you're going to do like, you know, one of those stagings for a house, you have some vases, maybe a TV, things like that, you can shut this down. People aren't going to see them inside the vehicle. So huge safety advantage and a big advantage for not having the car broken into.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a great feature.
So here on the side, you're going to notice there's a button. What this does for you is advanced keyless entry. So you hit that, it sends a signal back and forth, the key that's in your pocket. You never have to pull the key out. You get in the car, you push a button, the car starts. So it's really easy. Another thing on that is at night, you know, when you're going to show, or even during the day, if you're going to show a house, you're meeting people sometimes for the first time. So if you end up getting a situation where you might not be in a safe place, you can jump back in the vehicle. If you lock the doors, this button doesn't work from the outside anymore, so no one can try to get into the vehicle because the doors are locked.
Oh,
Huge
that's
safety.
a great feature.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and jump on inside. I want to show you a few things on the inside.
All right.
Okay, so first off, when you sit down, the first thing you notice, probably really comfortable seats, nice amenities, right?
Yeah, they're very comfortable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like the seats.
Yeah, so with all the hours you're going to spend on the road, these side bolsters and how these seats hug you has more of that sports style seat. Very, very comfortable. Also, you're going to notice leather wrapped steering wheel. So when you have, you know, again, hours on the road, you have a really nice feel to it. Shifters wrapped in leather, even the e-brake. So you said you want more of an upscale car for your clients to be in the car and see, you know, you're a successful person. Well, this is it. In fact, this has dual zone climate control. So when you're in the car, you can have it comfortable for you, but your clients can be comfortable too. So I'm sure that's important, is to keep your clients comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
So you said navigation was important to you. Well, this is going to have an amazing navigation system. One of the neat things about it is it's a touchscreen, plus it has a command switch. So if you look down here at the center console, you're going to find it's got the same type of switch you're going to find in like an Audi. So it's really easy to use. You can touch the screen, or you can just go down here, hit the nav button, turn any of these things, and adjust everything at your fingertips. And on top of that, most of the items in this vehicle are actually voice activated too, so you can just say things and it's going to do that for you. Some safety things, all the hours you're going to spend on the road. If you look over here to the mirror, you're going to notice that there's actually a light that lights up, and what that is blind spot monitoring. Yep. So what that does for you is if someone's in your blind spot, it's going to light up and it's going to let you know that somebody's there. So instead of having to maybe sideswipe somebody, this is going to save you from that. It's going to beep inside the car. It's going to light up for you. So another safety advantage for you there. Some other things this has on top of an amazing navigation system is it's more usable, because I'm sure in the past, with navs that you've seen in cars, you may have not gone for them because you have to have one of those DVDs and you have to upgrade the DVD for the new maps. With this, there's actually an SD card in the center console. You can plug it in your computer, and by doing that, you can update it anytime you want and always have the latest addresses for all those places you're going to be going. Bluetooth is important to you, I know, because you said connectivity. This, you can put 2 cell phones. So you can have your personal phone playing all your music, and you can also have your business phone hooked up at the same time. So when your music's playing, you're driving down the road, and you get a phone call, it stops the music from your one phone and actually plays the audio from your phone call coming in on your other phone. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that way you're never going to miss out on any business.
Yeah, that's great.
So pretty cool. So one thing I want to show you, we're going to actually go for a test drive. So before we go on the test drive, I'm going to show you on here we have our test drive map. So it's going to show where we're going to go. And this is going to give us the route options.
Oh, okay.
And on here, it's going to show our route characteristics. What those are basically going to do for us is you're going to drive on the freeway, you're going to do some stopping on some off-ramps, you're also going to do some rough and uneven roads, which is really where this car excels because it has a full independent suspension. Then we're going to do some braking, and then we're also going to do some S-curves. But before we do that, I want to show you one last thing. This vehicle has smart city brake support, so this car is going to actually stop itself.
Really?
So you got to trust me on this. This is going to be a huge safety advantage for you when you're out there on those side roads, in the housing developments, in traffic. If a kid runs out in front of you, if a car comes out in front of you, the car will actually stop itself. So trust me on this. We're going to pull forward and check this out. This is a game changer.
All right.
And if you look over to me, watch this.
Yeah. Really? Wow.
Yeah, the car stopped itself. Incredible. So let's go ahead and take this on a test drive, and you'll be able to really see how amazing this vehicle is.
All right, sounds good. Great.